He did not want to do this. Every person who has followed this story knows it. Every journalist who read that leaked letter knows it. Every football fan who saw his face when Ferran Torres scored knows it. Giannryi Infantino did not want to punish Argentina. He wanted to write them a friendship letter. He wanted to call their conduct professional. He wanted to send Claudio Tapia his most sincere congratulations and quietly make the investigation disappear before anyone noticed. But the world noticed. The footage went viral. The letter got leaked. The ethics complaints were filed. Norway's FA stepped in. Fair Square stepped in. UEFA stepped in. 23 million people signed a petition. And suddenly, the most powerful man in football was backed into a corner he could not escape from. He had to act. Not because he wanted to. Because the entire football world was watching and waiting and documenting every single thing he did next. And now, Paredes, Molina, Almada, Ayala, all formally charged. The Argentine Football Association under investigation for 6 categories of violations across the entire tournament. Minimum 3 match bans coming, potentially much more. Giannryi Infantino is punishing Argentina, and he hates every single second of it. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now, because today we are breaking down the most uncomfortable situation any FIFA president has ever been placed in. The man who called Argentina professional is now forced to charge them with assault. The man who suffered alongside Argentina is now forced to hand out bans to their players. The man who wrote with all my friendship is now forced to act like a neutral guardian of the sport he was never neutral about. This is the story of Giannryi Infantino being forced to do the right thing. And why the fact that he had to be forced is the most damaging thing that has ever happened to his credibility. Subscribe now. Zero coding. Let us go. Part 1. The moment Infantino lost control of the narrative. Let me take you back to the exact moment when Infantino's plan stopped working. Because he had a plan. It was not complicated. It was not clever. But it was a plan. The plan was this. Write Argentina the friendship letter. Let the investigation run quietly with no public updates. Hand down minimal punishments months later when nobody is paying attention anymore. Move on. Pretend the World Cup was perfect. Call it the greatest tournament in history, and let the footage of his shocked face fade from memory. That plan lasted approximately 48 hours. Because Argentina's own football association published the letter, put it on their official website, made it publicly available. And within hours, it was on the Daily Mail, Sports Illustrated, Fox News, Outkick, Sport Bible, and every other major outlet covering this story. The letter that was supposed to stay private became the most read document in football governance in years. And every word Infantino had written in it, the professionalism, the magnificent performance, the most sincere congratulations, the with all my friendship, became ammunition in the hands of every person who had been watching his conduct throughout this tournament and asking questions. Outkick wrote that Infantino either forgot that several Argentina members were involved in the on-field brawl or is simply choosing to ignore that fact. Sports Illustrated published the contradiction explicitly, that the charges came just days after the FIFA president praised Argentina's professionalism. That viral feed covered it, Fox News covered it, the BBC covered it. The plan was over before it had properly started, and Infantino was left in the most uncomfortable position any governing body president can occupy. He had to punish the team he had just praised in writing. Now I want to ask you something. Do you think if that letter had never been leaked, if Argentina had kept it private, the FIFA investigation would have quietly produced much smaller punishments? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now. Because the next part is where the pressure that forced Infantino to act becomes clear. Part 2. The walls that closed in. Every institution that forced his hand. Here is the list of organizations and forces that made it impossible for Infantino to do what he wanted to do, which was nothing serious. First, Fair Square, the worldwide advocacy group that filed a formal 8-page complaint with FIFA's own ethics committee documenting Infantino's lack of impartiality throughout the tournament. The Cape Verde comment, the letter, the shocked face, all documented, all submitted formally. All now part of an official record that cannot be quietly buried. Second, the Norwegian Football Association, Their chief Lisa Klaveness confirmed they would also file a formal complaint with the FIFA Ethics Committee, Norway, a full member association of FIFA, not a fan group, not a social media campaign. A national federation formally challenging the conduct of the FIFA president to the organization's own ethics body. Third, UEFA, the European governing body representing 55 of FIFA's 211 member associations, described their relationship with FIFA as strained, accused FIFA of crossing a red line. The most powerful regional confederation in world football, expressing institutional concern about FIFA's leadership out loud in public. Fourth, the petition, 23 million signatures calling for Argentina to face consequences for their conduct. 23 million people, from every country, every football background, every level of the sport, sending a signal that the world was watching and counting. Fifth, the media, every major outlet publishing the letter, analyzing the contradiction, drawing the line between Infantino calling Argentina professional and FIFA charging Argentina with assault in the same week. That contradiction published everywhere meant there was no version of a quiet resolution that would go unnoticed. Sixth, the footage itself. Paredes grabbing Garcia by the throat is on BBC broadcast cameras. Molina's punch at Rodri is on the record. Almada throwing Gavi to the ground is documented from multiple angles. This is not hearsay. This is video evidence that exists permanently and can be replayed by anyone, anywhere, at any time. With all of those walls closing in simultaneously, Infantino had no option. He could not write the Argentina Federation a friendship letter and then do nothing. He could not call their conduct professional and then fail to charge anyone. The contradiction would have been so enormous, so publicly documented, so institutionally challenged, that his position as FIFA president would have become genuinely untenable. So he acted. Not because he wanted justice for Spain. Not because he believes in accountability. Because he had no choice. Part 3. What the charges actually tell us about what Infantino wanted. Here is how you know Infantino did not want these charges filed. And this is the most important analytical point in this entire breakdown. Look at the charges that were filed. They are the minimum charges that the footage makes unavoidable. Paredes, Molina, Almada, and Ayala are charged with the specific acts caught on camera: assault, unsporting behavior, the things the BBC and Fox News and every other broadcaster showed to millions of viewers in real time. They are not charged with anything that requires investigative digging. They are not charged with anything that FIFA had to work hard to find. Every charge filed today corresponds to a specific piece of footage that had already been viewed millions of times before FIFA opened its investigation. Minimum unavoidable charges based on evidence already in the public domain. That is what Infantino authorized. Here is what he did not